Every other Sunday, a calm descends over parts of Jakarta. Many streets clear, and the people come out to ride. In 2007, Jakarta began Car Free Day. It's part of an ongoing effort to encourage people to leave their cars behind. Riders take advantage of the open road. Families play in city parks without the chaos of the surrounding streets. And the air becomes noticeably cleaner. On Car Free Day, airborne dust levels drop by 34%. Carbon monoxide by 68% and nitrogen oxide by 80%. It's an effort to change the mindset of the people. And for this Sunday, all lanes are clear. But Monday is coming. And with it, the traffic. Each workday, Jakarta's population swells by almost 4 million. Commuters take to the roads in personal cars, scooters, buses, and these contraptions. Known as badges, 20,000 of these orange three-wheelers help bring the city centre to a halt. With rush hour roads at a crawl, commuters turn to the venerable railway system for a fast ride into town. This is the Jakarta Railway. 6 lines make their way from the suburbs to downtown. 150 kilometers of track, carrying almost 500,000 passengers each day. Sugianto is one of them. He rides Jakarta's railway to the city each morning, and every night he takes it home. And his daily commute involves a daily fight for space.
There are plenty of the good and the bad. The good is that it's fast, cheap, without obstructions. The bad is like right now when we're all piled up.
And flying in the face of obvious danger and the fact that it's illegal, hundreds more clamor to the roof for space. But despite this, the trains remain the most efficient choice in Jakarta.
With other modes of transport, you have to take 2 to 3 vehicles. To get from home to work typically takes 2 to 3 vehicles, but only 1 with the train. It's also very cheap.
And it's getting better. Jakarta is expanding the system with newer train cars, and more of them.
Well, there certainly have been changes. Before, they didn't have the air-conditioned economy cars. Before, the express trains were rare. So, in the last 15 years, there have been improvements.
It's all part of an ongoing effort to expand the transportation system. But more importantly, Jakarta is working to integrate its network into one cohesive unit. Cars, buses, rail. And soon, something they've never had. A mass rapid transit system.
There will be many choices for us to commute to work from home. There will be other modes of transportation to help us out. The public will definitely benefit with the presence of MRT.
Few people have thought more about an MRT than this man. Tribudi Raharjo is the director of Jakarta's Mass Rapid Transit.
Jakarta needs MRT for a few reasons. Primarily, a few studies have cited that by 2020, Jakarta will be stuck if no attempts are made to improve the transportation system.
In 2011, the first phase of the MRT will break ground. Modeled off existing systems in Asia, the MRT is designed to relieve congestion in the city. Raharjo's job is not only to build it, but to get people on board.
Jadi memang MRT ini dikhususkan supaya
MRT is aimed for motorists of private vehicles to one day make the switch to taking MRTs.
lebih menyukai menggunakan MRT.
And to entice motorists to desert their cars in favor of the new system, Jakarta must plan big. The first phase of the MRT will have one line. Extending north-south, it will run along 22 kilometers of track, with 21 stations, 7 elevated, and 14 underground. 6 car trains, each able to carry 1,500 passengers, will run every 5 minutes, for a total daily capacity of 350,000 passengers. The second phase will run east-west, covering 87 kilometers with 48 stations. The final MRT plan will interconnect highways, the rail system, 15 corridors of busway, and a planned monorail. An integrated network linking every corner of the city. And Raharjo knows what lies ahead for him and his team.
Our challenge as an operator is how to get people to move from using their private cars or private vehicles to mass rapid. The second challenge is the expensive price of land. We design it in such a way that we don't have to buy up a lot of land. The third challenge is the integration of the transport system.
And one of the biggest engineering challenges of all is managing water.
The underground section will be at high risk for flooding. We look at Bangkok and Hong Kong, and there exists what's called a countermeasure, where we will raise the floor or mount up the entrance. That'll be in addition to the drainage system like they have in Singapore. So we've looked at it from the technical and engineering standpoints, and that shouldn't be a problem.
In the battle against flooding, Jakarta's foot soldiers are engineers. Technology, their weapons. And south of the city, new battle lines are being drawn. This is the Situ Gintung Dam and Reservoir. It's being built to replace the old dam, which failed to hold back the rising waters. And it will prevent the worst that Mother Nature has to offer. Pitoyo Subandrio is a manager at the Ministry of Public Works. He was once in charge of building the Eastern Flood Canal. Today, he's rebuilding this dam to be bigger and stronger. The dam and reservoir will allow for the collection and slow release of floodwater into the city rivers.
The floods of 2002 and 2007 were the biggest floods to date. More than half of Jakarta was drowned. So we have to take action against this.
This reservoir is one of 182 water catchment areas outside of Jakarta. But there used to be over 200 such areas. And therein lies the challenge.
The other 20 are all gone. Gone how? They've turned into residential areas. Some have become highways, and for other reasons.
Population pressure over the last century has encroached on land needed for flood control. As land decreased, the risk of flooding increased. Situ Gintung Reservoir used to be 35 hectares. Over time, encroachment reduced it to 21 hectares.
This area had shrunk to the point that this area in the reservoir here could no longer contain the rainfall. So what happened was a spilling over that ended up being a natural disaster.
The new dam will be 14 meters high and 200 meters wide. Reinforced concrete footings will lock the structure into the subsoil. And the holding reservoir is being dredged.
The water that fills up Lake Gintung here comes from rainfall that drops on the catchment area. Slowly, water will rise. And then these here are the spillways we are building. Water will run over the spillway if ever there's a flood, which we will also help control with floodgates. So that water will flow from upstream all the way downstream at the Sanggrahan River.
Water will be slowly released from the dam. And downstream, the canals and rivers will no longer overflow.
We have now rebuilt it. The spillway here is made out of concrete. There'll be a canal a kilometer long over there. This will all be complete by December this year, 2010.
And another source of flooding will be brought under control. Change in Jakarta is all about managing the flow. And in the battle to keep the canals and rivers flowing, the city has declared war against garbage. Today, the city's waterways are flowing at only 50 to 70% of their capacity. And the culprit is trash. The canals and rivers have been silted up with 9 million cubic meters of sediment and rubbish. For Agus Wahidi, the war against garbage is a daily battle.
Every day, typically, there's a ton of trash or more. When it rains, the trash reaches 4 tons or more.
Wahidi has to get it out. And there are 20 more traps like this throughout the city. Twice a day, trash is removed.
The accumulated trash piles up. Then it is hauled to the Bantar Gebang trash facility.
And the trash that once clogged Jakarta's waterways is now being put to work. This is the Bantar Gebang landfill. % of Jakarta's trash ends up here. 125 hectares of solid waste and growing. The question is, what to do with it?